Alright, peace, Sandra. Um, yeah, thank you for your patience. For some reason, your reading definitely just escaped my mind. But then when it came to my mind, I was trying to look for your number and I couldn't find it. But I finally found you, so I'm gonna finish your reading tonight for sure. And remember, you still have a session with me that you already paid for. You know what I'm saying? So that session is going to be on your natal chart, all that good stuff, and we'll jump into that. So, um, what I will be talking about right now to kind of wrap this up, we're just gonna look at the aspects and the things that most come to me. We'll communicate on. So first and foremost, right, your guys his moon. Your moon is in a sextile to his. So what this essentially means is that his actions and his identity and the way that he expresses itself really helps you from the emotional behind the scenes perspective gain ideas and awarenesses on, let's say, how you can maybe carry yourself and carry yourself and conduct yourself, in the sense that a sextile signifies opportunities. Now, this is happening between your moon and his sun. So the sun is like what one expresses, one's actions and things like that. But then the moon is one's reactions. So the way that you react to the way that he acts, and his ambition and interests and the things he expresses, these things can be opportunistic, in the sense that just by being around him and by observing and watching how he moves, you can expand your awareness on in the emotional realm, that is, on what you could do and how you can gain more comfort and things like that. For instance, by observing the way he acts and interacts within the world, you know what I'm saying? Now also, you guys both have your moon trine each other's moon, which signifies a great compatibility where emotions are concerned. So emotionally, you guys may get each other. And on top of that, a lot of the things that happen, because you were telling me that there were certain things that he does that you just don't feel, you don't feel like you resonate or agree with, right? You were sharing something of that nature with me. And it's essentially, you have to understand that the experiences that he brings to you in regards to communication are opportunity. Okay, so there are many opportunities for you guys to communicate, and the thing about opportunity is it's not always good. It can be a negative. But what I mean by this in this case is when he does things that may emotionally make you feel a type of way, rather than kind of repressing it and feeding the more selfish energies of let's say judging him, or because to judge is to come from a selfish perspective of you're good, you know what I'm saying, and one is bad. But in reality, rather than having that approach, you should look at it from the perspective of so I am given an opportunity from the universe to communicate my inner emotions and my inner feelings, and through communicating, it's not just going to stop there, but it's going to create opportunities for the both of you, in which the relationship can grow and expand from there. And there's also, like I said earlier, with the moon trine moon energy, there is a harmonious link emotionally between the two of you. So he does care about you, right? And as I'm sure you care about him as well. And so when you do these things and you address him, it won't per se be corrosive to the relationship, but it'll help the relationship grow, it'll create opportunities for the two of you. But yeah, most definitely it is important that you don't only react and respond to his limitations, because with you having the moon conjunct his Saturn, you may feel at times like, well, at times you may find yourself reacting a lot to, let's say, his shortcomings, his limitations, and things like that. But it's important to go beyond that, you know what I'm saying? And even him himself, he may feel like he may not be able to give you certain things emotionally, and he may feel like in certain ways he's restricting you emotionally. But like with the with the opportunistic energy, it's really like, I think I talked about this in the previous reading. It's about learning how to communicate with one another. You know, another thing is his, well, your moon squaring his north node. So with your moon squaring his north node, the north node signifies one's life path, where one is going from a spiritual perspective. It's like where one has never been, but it's where the soul is inclining them to go. So with his north node being in Cancer, it's an indication that in this life he's here to be he's here to learn to embrace familial energy. He's here, like I was gonna say previously, he's here to learn to be a family man, essentially a family guy, right? And so, you know, with this energy for you, it's most definitely important that you learn to work with him in that energy. He may be more inclined towards wanting, eventually, you know, because this is where life is just pushing him towards. But these are also energies he may not be completely familiar with, but where he needs to go. What he may be familiar more so with is being independent and doing things by himself, you know. But life, through all of the events that are happening for him, are going to slowly but surely push him towards learning to be more familiar or familiarly orientated. But there is going to be a square in that, and this can even play out possibly like maybe his familial connections and his familial energies may at times make you like his family, right, and his domestic issues and things like that may at times make you feel like he's making your guys's, like those experiences he's having with family may make you feel like it's somehow restricting or creating friction or preventing your emotional connection with him, you know. And so this doesn't even just have to be familially, it can even just be like his inability to feel. Like he may not be a person who completely feels. He, like, right, with his sun being in Gemini, I mean moon being in Gemini, for instance, he's more a person who prioritizes rationalizing and talking his emotions away rather than feeling them. So in his fear, because these are unknown energies and this is where life is pushing him towards, if he's brave and he understands that there's no growth and comfort and there's no comfort and growth, then he'll go into those spaces. But it's like until he gets there, there's going to be somewhat of a friction between, there's going to be a friction there between the two of you. And this may even play out as you may need emotional energies from him in order for you to emotionally feel more secure in the relationship. But he may not completely be able to give that to you until he himself goes on his spiritual awakening and spiritual journey, where he realizes that he needs to open up more to just familial energies and be more vulnerable and, you know, allow his feelings and things like that. But it's like you also have Mercury sextile the North Node, so communication. Wait, is that the case? Wait, never mind, my mistake. That's actually not happening, okay? So another thing for us to discuss is, okay. So you have Moon sextile. I already talked about this. So it's like when, okay, we talked about that already. Alright, so now Venus trine the Sun. So there are certain things about him in regards to the way that he expresses himself, you know, that that you just can see yourself being in a real, like, that you enjoy, and and that you can see yourself relating with, and forming a relationship energy with, like, feeling like harmonious energies with just certain things that he may express. So let me explain. Like, Venus and Aries people enjoy excitement, spontaneity, and they desire to be independent. You know what I'm saying? Even in relationships, they need that. And so the same thing goes with, to an extent, Sun and Sagittarius. Being a fire sign, they enjoy to be independent. They're very adventurous and they're willing to roll the dice. And Sagittarius feels gambling, but just risk-taking energy in general. So his free-flowing, outgoing energy makes you really, really. It's one of the reasons why you're attracted. And yeah, it's one of the reasons why you're attracted. And his outgoing and spontaneous energies can also be one of the things that can, yeah, bring, like, not only sensual attraction but also sexual attraction. You know what I'm saying? So you also can benefit tremendously in regards to collaborating with him, in the sense of, like, his actions and the things he naturally acts upon can be things that align with your motivations, your ambition, and your goals. So yeah, but the thing is, Jupiter is opposing the Sun. And I talked about this, I'm pretty sure, previously, where I explained how essentially with the Jupiter opposed the Sun energy, it's like his energy may, like, his way of thinking and perception on life may just be completely different from yours. And there is a need to learn to, because Jupiter is like your experiences and the things that you've gone through. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's your experiences and it's the things that you've gone through and what wisdom you've attained as a result of the things you've gone through. But then the Sun is kind of how you express, so the way that he acts and the way that the things he desires to identify with, and the ego and identity that he's creating for himself may be in opposition to the experiences of life you've had and how you think things should be done, but from a perspective of, like, been there, done that energy, like your wisdom. So Sagittarius, right, is a sign that deals with just going out into the world and rolling the dice and letting things happen. And if things happen, then they happen. But either way, however things happen, it's an experience. And the Sagittarius can just be there for the experience. They may not be the most responsible signs. And they may have the tendency of kind of being daredevils in the sense of just doing things and having faith, blindly going into something and having faith. Like, not thinking before acting, but acting and then thinking. Whereas the Jupiter and Gemini energy can be very thoughtful. It can be very thoughtful, you know what I'm saying? And they like to weigh their options before they act on things and all that good stuff. There's definitely the opposition between that's the opposition right there. And it's really like you needing to learn why he perceives and sees the world the way he sees it, and learning to unify with that perception on life and that, like, confidence on just wanting to take action on things and kind of having this innate faith that things will work out. And he may need to learn from you that at times you do need to think things through before you act on them. But then at the same time, though, with you may be a very thorough person who likes to think on things before you act. So a lot of the times you may think yourself out of opportunities because instead of just jumping in and allowing it to work out as you go along, you sat there and you thought about it and you thoroughly went through the details, And in life, it's like a lot of the times the approach you should have with experiences is allowing yourself to experience. And then once you've experienced it, sitting back and making rational conceptions about it, But a lot of the times Jupiter and Gemini people, conceptualize first and then experience second. But that's backwards, you know. Okay. So yeah, let's keep moving on. So your guys is his sun and your Saturn are trining each other. So this is an indication of like you guys can help each other gain greater discipline and greater self-control. You know what I'm saying? And you both maybe win together in a space where you both can be industrious and like focused on work and labor and on business and knowing what you need to do. And you did tell me that this was a relationship that stemmed, I think you said, from your music, right? So on that perspective, you guys do have that capacity to both be on the same boat on like, all right, we need to work, we need to put our heads down. This is not fun. Like, oh well, it is fun, but I mean, we're not here to have fun right now. We're here to work, you know, and we're here to establish structure, routine, and things of that nature for sure. Okay. So your North Node is sextiling his your North Node is sextiling his Sun, which also reveals that in this experience with you, he is going to grow a lot spiritually, and well, no, more so him to you. He can help you actually gain greater expansion and awareness into the energies of what you're here to learn to become familiar with, which is relationships, which is compromising energy, which is learning to find the balance, you know, which is learning to work work in a relationship in conjunction with the time, like willing to labor and do things like acquire certain responsibility, you know what I'm saying? And not just picking something up, trying it, and then putting it back down because it doesn't work. More so, willing to learn to find equilibrium and balance with another person, you know, like, and that's like your spiritual path in this life. You're here to learn how to unify with another person outside of you. So this does show that he definitely can help you do that. And also you have like your moon also trying, his moon is trying your North Node as well. So a lot of the ways that he reacts and responds can also create a lot of harmonious energy for your learning to expand into your life path, which is learning, as I previously said, to unify with another person. So yeah, and even like your guys' communication. So what I said previously about how you guys need to learn to communicate and how you guys need to learn to um, work with one another emotionally. And so this is happening in an air sign, right? And as I explained previously, the air sign deals with relation, talking, you know, like when I say relation, like associating with each other, which is typically comes to communicating and the exchange of ideas. And it's like the more you guys can do that, the more you guys can be open books to each other, the more, you know, the relationship will flourish and the more like good will come out of the relationship essentially. There are definitely a lot of positives in this in your relationships, you know. There are some oppositions and squares as well, but from what I'm seeing, honestly, it's kind of like a balance between the two. You guys have a lot of squares and a lot of oppositions as well. Okay. Like he experiences a lot of harmony in this relationship. I think where emotions are concerned. Oh, let me go. Like this may not be a very emotionally turbulent relationship. Like there is also a square though between. There's a square happening to the MC, which is like the career life, you know, the public image and all that good stuff. So there can be conflict and energies needing to be worked out, where work is concerned and where career is concerned. You know what I'm saying? So like your guys' views on work, like he may his perception on career life and work may be a bit different from yours, you know, and yeah, there may be one this there may in the sense that you may be more inclined towards wanting to like feel something out. Hold on, I'm thinking. Like when I say feel something out, like as far as career, I mean not career, like yeah, as far as like career life, you may be more in tune with wanting to kind of intuit things and your allow yourself to be guided by spirit,